I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. So, motion by Supervisor Frazier, second by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and at this time I will turn it over to Brian.
Thank you, Supervisor Wood. Item 1, under action agenda, request to approve the appointment of the EMS Advisory Board for the following 12 months.
I'll move it.
Motion by Supervisor Gerard, do we have a second? Supervisor Simpson, any discussion?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Supervisor Simpson.
Brian, these are non-paid positions, I assume, being an advisory board, correct? And is there an interview process with it, or is this a straight approval?
This is made up of all the squad captains
Okay.
from the county, along with the Director of Public Health, our preparedness person from the hospital, myself, and the EMS coordinator.
Is there a list in here, or no? Can you just email out the list?
We don't publish the list because it has personal emails and stuff. I would be glad to provide you with one.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it carries. On to number 2.
This is a resolution request to establish a contract with Tetra Tech, which is the company that was a successful bidder when we reached out to find a company to do the hazard mitigation plan. The proposal was sent out. We received 9 proposals back. The steering committee did a great job and spent a great deal of time going through these resolutions or these applications. They were very involved, and the unanimous decision was to come back to Tetra Tech for a cost of $72,400.
All right, do we have a motion? Supervisor Frazier, we have a second. Supervisor Simpson, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right. Number 3, request to apply for the FY15 LEMPG, or the Local Emergency Management Planning Grant, in the amount of $29,723. This money is used, it's a 50-50 grant, and we use this money to pay part of the salary and the fringe for the Emergency Services Coordinator, Amy.
Do we have a motion? By Supervisor Taylor, second by Supervisor Gerard. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Number 4, resolution request to amend the dollar amount and the termination date of our Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness Grant. It was originally approved under Resolution 636 of 2014. Some things have changed with that. We have developed a plan where, as a fiduciary agent and bringing counties together to make this work, it's been suggested by the state, and they would prefer us to operate regionally as compared to county by county, which is the same scenario we have done with the communications and with the hazmat. So Amy has put together a scenario where we have counties that have committed to work with us, and therefore, instead of $10,000, we would want that grant to be up to $70,000. And we would also have to change the correct determination date on that.
All right, do we have a motion to get on the floor? Motion by Supervisor Simpson, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Discussion? Supervisor Sieber?
Brian, is there, and I'm sorry, I don't recall 636, but is there a match amount with this? And if so, does that increase our match requirements?
Amy?
Yes, there's a 20% match on this, and what we are planning on doing is using the volunteers' hours for the match, because we can't use, a lot of the grants, if you use in-kind services, you can use our salaries. This particular one you can't. We're going to have to use the volunteers.
And that will meet the 20%?
Correct.
Thank you. What a great idea.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Other than that, I have nothing else unless anyone has any questions.
Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Brian, one of your email blasts, you mind sending that out, because you get to a lot of fire departments about the shared services we're trying to do here. Because we didn't get, I don't think we've had a very good response from the fire departments and fire districts on shared services.
As far as the purchasing?
Yeah, the purchasing, what they may do, and just get that out to
Sure.
so just not a commitment, but they should think about, they mentioned air packs, hose.
There's a number of things, big ticket items that are on that scenario.
Right, and I don't think we got a very good response from most of the districts or fire departments.
Well, unfortunately, I have to admit that with a lot of the blasts we send out. But, we send it out there and we put it out there, and
Yeah.
what they choose to do with it, unfortunately, is
I
difficult.
would tell them to contact their town supervisor.
Very good,
To find out more about the program.
very good. Yes, I will do that. Anything else?
Thanks, Brian.
I'm good, thank you.
Is this new, you up there, you want us up there, is that
You
correct?
can if you'd like to, Sheriff, but if you'd
I'll go
prefer to
wherever-
stick with tradition, we're fine with that.
Whatever you,
I'm good.
you need one,
What about this guy here?
they're all matched, or somebody else.
Oh, it's okay.
No, Secretary Chairman.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have an interchangeable one.
You have one? Who needs one? Danny, you need one?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Matt?
Yeah, I do too.
No, that's okay.
Guilty this time.
Me too, I didn't bring mine.
Oh, don't say that around
Who else? Bud, you got one?
No,
Oh,
I'll go back there.
If you like it.
One more?
Okay, Sheriff,
Well,
welcome.
this is new, huh? You want us standing up? Okay,
We like to keep you on your toes.
all right, good. We ready?
Yes.
First one is we need permission to send Sergeant Ralph Bartlett and Patrol Officer Josh Lopez to the traffic crash reconstruction at the New York State Police Academy. The cost is $825 per student.
All right, we had a motion from Supervisor Simpson, second from Supervisor Brock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
We also need permission to send investigators Ed Affinito and Anthony Bruno to the cellular phone investigations course in Lake Placid, New York. No cost to this.
I have a motion by Supervisor Frazier, second Supervisor Seaver. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
Number C, request resolution to delete senior account clerk 1 in corrections. This is, from somebody who may or may not remember, this is a position that we've had in corrections downstairs. We had 2, senior account clerks back in '09 or '10 when we were having the, recession problem. This is one of the positions we didn't fill, but we kept it on the schedule. And, I think it's appropriate at this point to delete it because we have to move that money elsewhere.
Okay, do we have a motion to get it on the floor? Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Taylor. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
The next one relates directly to that. We need a resolution to permanently transfer the funds from the senior account clerk to the law enforcement part-time code. If you recall, DMV, Pam Vogel, some year and a half ago, wanted a security position out by DMV. It was asked us to, let the committee, her committee know how much that would cost, so we figured it was about $34,000 to $35,000 of part-time. So we paid for that last year, but we had to transfer money. In speaking with Joan, this was the correct way to do it, to delete the senior account clerk, to, put the money in this account to pay for that position. So that's what I'm asking to do.
Do we have a motion? By Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Request resolution to ratify the actions of the chairman pursuant to signing an MOU with the Adirondack Regional Interoperable Communications Consortium. Warren County participates in a regional partnership for communications, operability, and Homeland Security requests our participation. Martin has more on this, should you have questions.
Okay. Martin, would you like to?
Chair, thank you very much. I had reviewed this, and there was some timeliness to having the chairman sign, so I recommended that the chairman sign and that we would have his signature ratified. This is a consortium of a number of counties: Essex, Clinton, Franklin, Warren, Washington, Hamilton, Saratoga, Fulton, Montgomery, St. Lawrence, Herkimer, Rensselaer, Albany, and Schenectady. The idea is to put this consortium together, to apply for grants, to apply for assistance, establish a process for sharing costs and assets that would be a mutual benefit to all parties. The idea is to provide all police, fire, and EMS agencies within the 14-county region a form of interoperable communications program. It's at no cost to the county. As this consortium works and does their planning and their studies, should there be cost sharing, that all comes back to you for review and approval as the case may be. But there is no financial obligation at this point in time. We just thought it was a good idea to be the participant.
Well, and also, speaking with the undersheriff who does all our grants, we feel that, we felt initially that really we didn't have to get involved in this, but it might cause problems down the road when Homeland Security is giving out their funding. You know, they want you as part of this interoperability for them to consider you for funding. So if we'd be cutting off our own nose if we didn't do it. So that's another reason we got into it.
All right, do we have a motion to get this on the floor? Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Gerard. Is there any discussion from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Also, something that came up late Friday after we sent the agenda out, I want to bring from the floor. F would be a resolution to amend our contract with Swanson per federal mandates, and Martin can broach this as well. We have to add an addendum to the current contract. Is that correct, Martin?
Chair?
Certainly.
Resolution 715 of 2011 authorized an agreement for inmate account services with Swanson Services Corporation. The agreement is still in place. It's at no cost to the county. As a matter of fact, the county receives revenue from this, as I understand it, Sheriff. You receive a percentage of the gross receipts, as I understand it. The contract expires December 31, 2016. There's no financial impact to the county. Nothing changes financially whatsoever. As the Sheriff had indicated, there have been some amendments to both federal and state laws, and regulations with respect to the collection of how inmates are charged, how those payments are processed and accounted for. The other item here is that since we entered into this contract, Swanson has been acquired by Trinity Services Group, Inc. They remain a subsidiary of Trinity Services Group, Inc., so our contract remains in place. I've reviewed the materials they supplied. I reviewed the addendum and the reasons for the addendum. I think it makes good sense for the county to authorize this addendum and continue with the contract as otherwise provided.
Okay, do we have a motion to get this on the floor? Motion by Supervisor Frazier. Do we have a second? Supervisor Brock. Any discussion from the committee on this? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very well.
Under topics for discussion, just to keep the committee apprised that we have, since the last meeting, we filled 3 positions in corrections. 2 resigned to go work for state docs, which we seem to get a lot lately, and one resigned after a day's work, decided that this is not for me. So those are things that you have to do down in that environment. So that's, and I think the savings on that, due to filling the positions, is $14,500 for the year.
Very good. Does anybody have, Supervisor Brock?
The person that didn't like it or left because of that, was he being trained or was he already trained?
Just starting. He's only been there a day.
So we didn't have much money into
No,
it.
no, we didn't have much. Fortunately, it was good of him, and we try to tell everybody, you know, this isn't, we try to do that before they come in the door. We take them around, we show them what they're gonna do. This is during the interview process, so we tell them the worst parts of it, so once they say, yeah, okay, please hire me, and we put you through the system, we want them to know that. But, and this person went through that, but after working 1 day, actual working, said, no, this is not for me, so.
Okay, anything else for the sheriff this morning? Amanda?
Joan had left this notice of intent to fill vacant position with me,
Yeah,
for a senior account clerk, is that the
yeah,
position?
I talked to the chairwoman, and Is that something we have to bring through the committee?
I think maybe it would be wiser just to bring it through the committee,
Okay.
just so we have a resolution.
Okay, yeah, however you wanna do it.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. If you'd like to apprise the committee briefly, Sheriff, I know we discussed it, but just for their own information so that we can move
Yeah,
it
we
forward.
have, that other senior account clerk position that's in corrections, the lady that we had in there has been out of work on and off for a while, and she's had to resign, so we need to fill that position.
All right, so I'd ask for a motion from the committee to fill that position. Motion by Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Frazier. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, anything else today, Sheriff?
That's it for me, thank you.
Anybody have anything else for the sheriff? If not, I'd accept a motion to adjourn. Supervisor Seaver, seconded by Supervisor Gerard. All those in favor?
Aye.